I'm doing good, thank you.
Hello, everyone. Thank you all for being here. Thanks to all the partners, and thanks to especially Vedran and Riyadh, because maybe you don't see all they do off stage in the background. There's a lot of work to finally. This is the visible part in the modules, but there's a lot behind the scenes. So I also wanted to thank you, especially two of you that I'm in contact very often. So thanks for that. And and again, thank you everyone for being here. Once more, it's the fourth session today. Next week, it will be our last session of this training. Others will come, but this is the last one for this training. And just to begin, I wanted like to suggest a couple of things. Today, it would also be most of the session will be practical because you already had the module, which has a lot of information, and then you have a lot of um, yeah, info data to pull the thread and keep learning. So you already went through that. So we're gonna like have a little introduction and then jump again to
Jumping.
the to the practice part. Okay, so I just wanted to let you know. Today we'll have sort of methodology, and next week will be a different one. Okay, so I'm trying to also have you different, some similar, some different. Maybe the methodology is similar, but then how we give the feedback or we give the information is different. That's also part of that's also part of my challenge to try to keep a line, but also show you different ways of bring, I don't know, digital meetings or work groups. Maybe you already have this knowledge or these skills. Maybe you don't, but hopefully you always take something out of these sessions beyond the the content. So with that, let me share screen, make sure everything works. Okay, perfect. Great. So we're in module four, stakeholder and expectation management, which can be with this, we could be, I don't know, talking a whole training could only be about stakeholder, how to communicate, how to see risk, possible risks coming, how to handle conflict management. There is a lot. Okay. So today we'll just do a little bit of it. So always, please set your expectations. It's 1 hour training with like now it's I don't know how many people we in the room now, but last time we ended up being almost 100 people. So some things take a bit longer than we would like. Sometimes we cannot go in depth because this is just a practice, okay? Like a meeting point where we can sort of make sure we have our learnings gathered together. Okay, so just keeping that in mind. Thanks for the patience. Thanks for all the questions that cannot be answered. We're doing our best, and there will be also some time for questions Q&A at the end. Okay, you can. I'm not gonna be checking the chat in the moments when there's no questions and answer because otherwise I get distracted. I tried it last week; it didn't work for me, but I will gather the questions in the end. Okay, so thank you for that too. So, stakeholder expectation management. And today we're going to explore within this huge topic and the different things you have in the module, like focusing on stakeholders in digital youth projects, specifically, possible risks, transparency, what we mean with that, and management insights. Okay, I'm not going to be the only one giving insights today because there's a lot of ways we saw there's a lot of different leading styles, a lot of different ways to manage a project, and we all have our own. So it's to enrich the session. We're gonna have multiple people sharing things today. First, okay, I will start there because it's like, I'm assuming, we did the module and everything, but who are stakeholders? When we talk about um, digital youth projects, who are we talking about? You have it in the module, but let's remind it. Okay. They may include, it's not limited to, okay, there's 8 here, but it can be more. Okay. Each project, different reality, but those are the ones that sort of, that more or less you can find in digital youth projects. Participating young people, okay, people who actually participate, the final, the final users, the final beneficiaries, the final people who are the stars of the whole thing, right? Dissemination partners, youth networks, online platforms, okay. European funding agencies. no money, no honey. Okay, in a lot of these projects where we want people involved and impact. Local authorities, how do we land it from the global to the local? Digital skill experts, we have Riyadh here putting everything together, so we also need that. Local schools or universities, or maybe like training, vocational training for adults, trainers and facilitators, youth organizations implementing activities. Those are 8 of the possible stakeholders. Okay. And strength in the whole process, we need to have take into account that we have impact, transparency, and sustainability. Very important. With that, we have these 8, and I'm gonna ask a question. I'm gonna go back to this picture. Which stakeholder is most difficult to manage in international youth projects, according to your experience? Which stakeholder is most difficult to manage in international youth projects? Can you write your answers in the chat, please? Which are the most difficult? Okay, I'm gonna go back to the screen. Which stakeholder, according to your opinion, experience, is the most important and difficult, most difficult for you? According to your own experience, can you write it in the chat, please? Young people, okay? Excuse me. Participating young people, okay? Local authorities, young people, local authority, the European Union, local schools, local authority, municipalities. Okay, again, local authorities, local authorities. Okay, we have like so far 3, yeah? Local authorities, we have young participating, no, people participating, local authorities, and European Union. We have these 3 of the rest. We have those 3 showing more here according to your experience. Okay. Look, if we have a look at what you said, young people, sometimes, what could be one issue that happens? Maybe we are not communicating enough the benefits they can have. Maybe we are not that young anymore, so we don't go to places where younger people are. Just a thing, eh? There may be a lot of things also with local authorities. Do we have a link? Did we build a link with them? Each of us can have different opinions. And then European agencies, maybe we don't really know what the vocabulary, the keywords are, how all these parts, all these like writing the project and knowing the right people, knowing where to go, knowing how to use the vocabulary, because that's also one thing, the technical part. The calls, how to write a proposal, a call specifically to get the funding. No matter how good the idea is of the project, how we can adapt it to the funding agencies, or they don't write an email, okay? There might be expectation differences, communication problems, cultural and context differences too, okay? We try sometimes to ignore that one, but there might be different reasons, okay? But stakeholders matter a lot, because no matter how good the idea is, no matter how good the activities are, how well prepared they are, if expectations are not aligned, there's more risk of project failure. Okay, there's multiple countries. Before it was like European countries where there's differences and different expectations. But if we open it to the rest of the world, there might be even more, or maybe the time zone makes it different.
No, let me speak.
We have multiple partners, we have public funding, so we depend on that funding. There's visibility requirements that we need all the time to show what we're doing, and cultural patterns in different dimensions can be a matter of that too, okay? And also we ask X amount of numbers, the final figure. So there's a lot of pressure there that can bring to project failure, or to give us way more tension moments that we wished, okay? Now let's go to one of the things that you saw also in the module, is like the stakeholder matrix. This is the same info you have in the module. I just made it, I use the tools to make it like this infograph. You will have the presentation if you want to, okay? So don't worry. But look, we have here this matrix with the stakeholders, right? And there's high influence, low influence, low interest, and high interest. For influence, we mean how much power a stakeholder has to affect the project or its decisions, okay? So high influence, high interest, okay? We need to manage closely because they are key to make things work. And then we have interest, how much a stakeholder cares about the project and its results. So we need to identify what stakeholder for us, one or two or how many, are high influence and high interest. From there, we can go to high influence, low, right? We need to go high, high, and then high, low, and then low, low. Okay, so we need to know, priority and urgent. It would be the same thing. What's the priority? What do I need to keep focusing on to keep in mind all the time? Okay, high, high, because then there might be low influence and high interest. Like we need to keep them engaged because they really want to be there, but the stakeholder doesn't really mind so much. It's not that important, let's say, for the project per se. But then the low influence, low interest, we can share it to the general public, but we need to keep in mind priorities and urgencies, okay? Or our priorities all the time. This is super important. You have that matrix, you saw that in the module. You just have an image here, and so that's for you, okay? With all these stakeholders, with all the things that we said can make it a bit more difficult, how do we manage expectations, okay? Because we all have different expectations as a stakeholder, and we have different needs. So donor needs evidence and impact, to make sure you're doing something useful and justify it. Participants support and clarity, partners communication and coordination, community visibility and relevance. So each stakeholder, different needs. We know that by experience. Maybe we never stop to put the word, but we know that it's very different and we need to learn to navigate in that world. And then with stakeholders, we need transparency, okay? Because we want to build trust to make things work. Transparency in digital projects can look like shared documents folders, clear meeting notes, regular partner updates, honest reporting of challenges, visible task responsibilities. Is very well connected to communication. How do we communicate what we're doing with shared documents that we can all see? How do we communicate our agreements with clear meeting notes? Okay, communication, communication, communication. And not all communication goes through meetings. There's all these tools that we can use. Transparency then creates trust between the partners. Excuse me. Better collaboration, fewer misunderstandings, stronger accountability, more credibility with donors, and less stress when there's a deadline showing up. Because transparency is making sure everyone understands what is happening. It's clear, we communicate it clear, everyone can see. It's not about controlling, because there's a misunderstanding sometimes. If we ask too much, like clarifying every single step, it might feel like controlling. Maybe we are controlling, but if we are transparent, there's no need to control because there's shared responsibilities. And that's what we need to move towards, sharing those responsibilities. Okay. This is a summary of what we saw. And now it's your time to do an activity. You're going to be working in breakout rooms too, so please participate. If you technically can participate, do it. It doesn't matter, like if you don't have the perfect setting, whatever, but please, let's try to do it, okay? So let's see, I'm going to explain. You're going to have this, okay? So don't worry. I'm going to explain what you will have to do, but here is you will have this same document I'm showing. It will be seven participants per room, okay? Because we know sometimes when 4 people end up there, so 7 participants, 18 minutes, so it's 17 plus 1 minute. Please focus on practical reality, not perfect theory, okay? We are not asking to do like the big project because we have like 17 minutes, so just try to do the best with what you have and by your experience. And you will have to choose one spokesperson before you start or before we come back, because that person will have to share one short insight, 45-second insight with the microphone, okay, to make it a bit faster. Okay, so just make sure seven people, 18 minutes, one spokesperson to share with the microphone. And you have this scenario. Your organization, you will all have the same, okay? There's only one scenario, one document. Your organization is running a 12-month Erasmus Plus digital inclusion project for young people in rural communities involving 4 international partners, okay? The project includes online workshops, local youth activities, a dissemination campaign, and reporting to Erasmus Plus agency. Then you have a group task. There's 3 things you have to do, okay? Step 1 is identify the stakeholders, okay? You need to have 2 stakeholders with high influence and 2 stakeholders with high interest, okay? You can do the magic. You just need to identify, decide who are the stakeholders and their influence and their interest, okay? You have here what it means. Examples, okay? Those are just 7 examples of different stakeholders you can have. You can choose any others. And this is the stakeholder matrix as a reminder, okay? If you need to say, okay, I don't really get it, you don't need to think about it, you have it here. After choosing the stakeholders and where they are in this matrix, discuss one critical stakeholder, okay? You choose only one stakeholder that could create a major challenge or major challenges if expectations are not managed properly, okay? Then discuss the 7 people in the group discuss what does the stakeholder expect from the project? What could go wrong if communication fails, or this transparency fails? What is one thing your team should do to manage this relationship well? Okay, very practical things. You don't need to go to theory, just, okay, I will do this and that. Talk about that in the group, okay? And then the final step, the prepare one sentence to share, step 3, okay? You have to complete this sentence. The stakeholder would manage most carefully is, if, because, and then you give the key risk, and to manage this relationship well, we would, and you give the management insight. What would you do? Okay, what I want you to do is like, okay, we have this situation, okay, because there's a risk, and what do we do? And I will ask you to share in the group like this sentence. It's an example, okay? It can be a bit different if you feel more comfortable expressing it differently. This is just an idea. Because with the one with the, we're not gonna share reflection, we're gonna share like something final in like this, in sentence, okay? And then we're gonna share in the plenary. One person, the spokesperson of the group, will share it with all the rest, okay? I'm sharing the document with you, and 1 minute to say, do you have any questions? Any questions, anything you'd like to ask? Give me a minute. I'm copying the document. Don't start asking about it yet. I'm copying it in the chat. Okay, give me a minute. All clear, perfect. Activity. Okay, I'm gonna put activity and there's a link. Okay, so please now, all of you, there's in the chat, you have the link to the document I just shared with you. So please open it to make sure all of you have it in the breakout rooms. Okay. Please open the document. Just do a thumbs up when you have it. Thumbs up. Okay, perfect. I start seeing thumbs up there. Perfect. I'm gonna give like 10 more seconds because I still thank you for the ones who are confirming. Perfect, thanks. Perfect. So from now on, we have breakout rooms, 7 people, okay? A total of 18 minutes, so 17 plus 1, okay? If I want to come back. So if you can confirm when we are ready, we can go to the breakout rooms and see you back in 18 minutes.
Okay. Thank you, Anna. Just to confirm to participants, the rooms are going to be assigned automatically. So please, we are creating rooms now. I hope that is clear. Rooms are going to be assigned automatically.
Thank you. See you in 18 minutes. all of you who are able to participate in the breakout rooms, you don't have technical issues. It doesn't
Miss Anna, you let me know when
Yeah.
you let me know when we are ready to come out of the breakout room.
Okay, you didn't put the 17 minutes? Okay, I'll keep track of time. Perfect. What time did we start exactly? Okay.
It was
Okay,
22.
yeah, let me. Yeah, don't worry. I'll just put like perfect. I'll keep track of it. Yeah, don't
Please,
worry. I'll let you know 1 minute before.
please, thank you.
Thanks. Mm. Can you please close the breakout rooms? I give them the last minute.
Okay, please. Let me do that.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Hello, I come back.
Welcome back, everyone. Let's wait like the last 15 seconds. Everyone is coming back from the breakout rooms. Okay. Oops, give me a sec. Perfect. So let me stop the watch to make sure it doesn't ring here in the middle. Perfect. So you're all back. Okay, 18 minutes, maybe a lot, maybe not too much,
For
depending
our
on.
group, it wasn't enough.
Excuse me? It was not enough
It
for your
wasn't
group?
enough, yeah.
Okay.
But we will try. I hope we will try.
Totally fine. The idea of making these groups is like to use, like to have a meeting point, because it's very difficult, as we saw the first day in digital projects. Sometimes it's difficult to find spaces beyond productivity. And 18 minutes is not enough, we agree. But let's have this moment to share now with the rest. So some groups were there were at 6 people, like let's say in the group, some groups it was 4 people and some others 5. So hopefully at least it was four people at least in each of the groups, like actively actively connected. So okay, with that, you all have the sentence, so I'm not gonna share it so that we can all see each other better instead of having the big screen and then all of us. So who would like to start? It's 7. We had 7 breakout rooms, so we have time to go through the 7 sentences, okay? So who would like to start? You can just unmute yourself.
I can. We
Okay.
can.
We'll
For us,
stay.
it was hello a little bit harder to join and to understand. It was only 2 people speaking, me and the girl, but we still did it. So the stakeholder we would manage most carefully is universities because of risk to fail communication and expected outcomes. And to manage the relationship well, we would maintain transparency throughout the project.
Can you give like an idea now with transparency? Can you say like one specific tool or concrete tool for transparency? One simple one, huh?
Yeah, I think we would coordinate better, like with timetables and with not skills, sorry, the goals.
Perfect.
So we would actually see and other people see what they're doing, so they wouldn't be lost or confused about what they're doing.
Perfect. Thank
Thank
you. Thanks for sharing. Thank you, Waste. Okay, someone else. We did one group with 6 to go. I can also appoint, but it's better if you, all of us, all the groups are gonna share it. So you should have chosen a spokesperson, another group, please. Okay, so breakout room number 2. So did you just rate like thumbs up if you picked a like someone to share the sentence in the group? Did you choose in your room one person to talk?
Hi, I don't remember if I was in number 2. I don't remember which number it was
Totally
actually.
fine, Federica.
but I was a spokesperson for mine. I didn't write it down, so I'll try to make it on the go. But the stakeholder we will manage most carefully is the Erasmus Plus agency, because we basically would like to continue our project in the next edition, so repeat it. And they are responsible for the funding and for managing the project in general. So to manage this relationship well, we would like to set up realistic goals, discuss milestones, and keep them up to date at all times.
Up to date. Perfect. Thank
Maybe
you.
also with transparency and progress meetings. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Federica, for sharing
Thanks.
for the work in the group. Okay, someone
Thank
else.
you.
Thank you. Feel free. Someone else, just like a third group. I said any room. I don't mind. Maybe you don't remember the rooms. Someone who already
Okay, hi Annie. I
Thank
would
you.
represent our group to share one sentence similar from the Federico. Our group suggested the stakeholder we would manage most carefully is Erasmus agency, because the delays and poor communication could risk funding approval and project compliance. To manage this relationship well, we would maintain regular updates, transparent reporting, and clear communication about progress and challenges.
Thank you. Thank you, Kairoi. Thank you very much. Okay, the Erasmus agency is there like Thank you. Who else? Any other group would like to share their sentence or their work?
Yeah, hello. I can represent my group. If I'm not mistaken, if it was room 10.
Perfect.
So one sentence for plenary, the stakeholder would manage most careful in the Erasmus Plus agency because poor communication or reporting can directly threaten funding and project continuation. And to manage this relationship well, we would maintain proactive communication and structured reporting throughout the project.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you, Sabuhi.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate your participation. Thank you. We have 4. Anyone else would like to share theirs?
Good afternoon, everyone. I think I'm going to present from room 6.
Perfect.
We're going to identify the stakeholders. One of them we managed to identify the national agency that controls funding, approves changes, and monitors reporting compliance. Then on step 2, to discuss the critical stakeholders. So what do they expect? It is they expect timely funding, clear communication on roles, and effective digital tools for rural youth to overcome barriers. So we also had what could go wrong if communication fails. Unaligned activities across countries, failure to reach the target group due to lack of local knowledge, or breach quality standards leading to project failure.
Okay.
So we had also one management action that establish a dedicated online collaboration platform for monthly virtual meetings, coupled with shared task management dashboards for transparent reporting. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Nadir. Thanks for sharing your outcomes. I appreciate it. Okay, let's see. The national agencies are going to be like the main stakeholder there. The funding makes a lot, right? Okay, thank you. We have 5. Okay. Any other 2 other groups would like to share their results there or their sentence, what they would do?
So hello.
Hello.
So I may represent room number 7. I think that the stakeholder that we should manage the most is the partner organization, because poor coordination between 4 international partners could delay the activities, make confusions enrolled, and weaken the project result. So I think we should manage this relationship well and use a shared work plan, set clear responsibilities and regular check-ins throughout these 12 months. So that's it.
Okay, communicating. Perfect. Thank you, Elsie. I appreciate it. Okay, one more to go. Thank you for all the interesting inputs you're giving. Last group, I think. I don't know if Rahma wanted to add for the last group.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay. So, hi, I'm Rahma. I'm representing Group 4, and I was with Gianni, Charles, and Sandra. And when we discussed it, we found that the stakeholder we would manage most carefully was also Erasmus Plus, because any, failing to meet any deadlines or outcomes or so on would lead to the funding being revoked. So to manage this relationship well, we agreed to hire a communication specialist with a background in law and also a professional project manager to help us achieve expected outputs and meet deadlines and all funding requirements and to ensure the program goes as smooth as possible and meets all the outputs.
Thank you. Thank you, Rahma. Super put together there. Okay. Thank you, Kairui, thank you, Nadir, thank you, Sabuhi, Federica, Woste, Elsie, Rahma, and everyone that you work with, okay, for the work and for sharing it. It's a big group, so sometimes it's not easy, so I appreciate all the efforts you're doing. And with this, we saw the national agency is one of our main concerns because they are the ones who, we depend on the funding, right? They are the ones who said yes or no. We also had one group with partner organizations, and we need to work together closely and universities as a partner organization. And stakeholders, like there could be a lot of things to talk about that most of you talked about sharing expectations, communicating properly, making sure there's a flow in the communication, telling them the updates, right? Having communication plus law to making sure that we meet the requirements and communicate properly, that we share responsibilities with the partner organizations, that it's clear all the time, having conversation, using different tools. We saw the tools the first session, and you also talked about using different tools for each different communication to get the goals, transparency. But most of it was about, it involved relationships, communication, and expectations, right? That's what you mentioned. Like if we had to give like umbrella keywords for that, the donor pressure, no? Like unclear communication, donor pressure, like how to get the reporting done to get the funding, and when there's a lot of like staff changing and people changing, how do we manage that, right? It requires a lot of patience, as you might see, and perseverance, right? And finding because one of the things I had planned that I thought I don't do it is like there's always last minute changes in projects. One partner has to leave or doesn't respond, and then something changes, and then we are working on a project, starting a new one, and we have calls, and then someone in the team is sick, and we are in small teams. So if one person is sick, then it means we need to distribute things. So there's a lot of things that can happen, but we need a structure. Okay, as we said, like in digital teams, communication is not, it doesn't happen, it's intentional, and we need to have like the very clear channels, as a lot of you already wrote. So it's super important for transparency, and also not seeing transparency as control, but seeing transparency as communication. What do we communicate? How we do it, and with what tools? What are we using for that communication? So with those three, we don't need like a giant, infographic there or a visual map, but we need to have that clear. And also, none of you mentioned like participants. So for some of you might be easy, for some of you more difficult, but getting like, if we don't get generally a next amount of participants, we might not get the final 30%, 20% funding, future funding. So it's also very important. Sometimes we focus a lot on the Erasmus Plus agency, which is important because they are the ones who fund it. But let's not forget the goal of youth projects, which is to get impact with young people. Because sometimes we have so much pressure from the funders that we forget the final I was gonna say target, but I don't want to say target, like people, no? Who are we working with? Okay, who are the people who are we want to improve their life with, we want to improve society with. Okay, so just food for thought that I'm sure you thought about them, but you had only 18 minutes to prioritize, and you prioritize the one that you consider most important. Thank you very much. Okay, with that, we're gonna do a knowledge check. Okay, we have like 8 minutes left. We're gonna do a very short knowledge check like last week, and then we have like 5-6 minutes for sharing comments or any opinions. Okay, but we need to do the final check. It's super easy. So wait, I'm sharing the screen before time. Sorry about making you dizzy again. You will have the presentation. Okay, just give me its opening. Perfect. So again, it's slido.com. I'm gonna share now the screen so you can use your phones or you can connect. Slido.com here. Okay, if you're using your computer, and then there's a pin, or there's this QR code there. Only 3 very quick questions, and then we have like 5 minutes for question and answer. Okay, we'll wait until it's 15 people. When we have 15 people in, we're gonna start. 15. We'll do a different type of check, knowledge check next week. It will be the last one, so we want to make sure we all have time. Okay, 18 people inside. Okay. Okay, now I need to move just a sec. Let me see if I can move the screen away. There you go. Okay. Perfect. 23 people, we start, so to make sure we have some minutes. Okay, let's go. Which stakeholder usually requires the closest communication and expectation management? High influence and high interest, low influence, high interest, low influence, low interest, and high influence, low interest. Okay. Okay, most of you answer high influence and high interest, and that's the correct answer, okay? To make sure the ones that really like the European Erasmus, and then the young participants, okay? It's high. Let's not forget about the participants, about young people too. Perfect, thank you, let's go. Next one. What is the biggest risk when stakeholder expectations aren't clear? Better flexibility, increased participation, misunderstanding and loss of trust, faster project implementation. Okay, misunderstanding and loss of trust, the biggest risk, and loss of track, then people don't respond, then they are inactive, they drop out. Okay, perfect. What helps build trust with stakeholders in international youth projects? More than one option is correct. You have transparent communication, regular updates, clear reporting, active listening, shared documentation, honesty about challenges. Okay, so it was divided because you could answer different ones, and all of them are correct. Okay, all this helps build trust in youth projects, and it's up to you to prioritize. You already did which one is most important for you. Okay, thank you for sharing this, and we have like the last minutes, okay, for some 1 or 2 questions. So we can take one with the microphone on mute and then another one on the chat if you want to. One and one, please. Do you have any comments, any questions? Anything
Yeah, so
you'd
we
like?
have 3 minutes left. So if you have any questions, now it's the time.
Next we will have more time for questions. Okay, it will be a different session because it's the last one.
Vedran.
Yes,
And
Samir.
Anna, thank you very much. If members don't have questions, I was just going to request if some members can turn on their cameras. Just want to take a picture for the presentation, if it's okay.
Yeah, who wants to turn on camera? Yeah, please.
Yeah.
Just for the picture, it's not obligatory. If you don't want to do it, it's totally fine. If you can, that would be nice as well. But of course, smile.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Sarah is there. Hello, Sarah. Now I see people. It's like, that helps a lot. It's like, now I know some of you. We've been in other sessions. No, thank you. It's so nice to see you all. Meanwhile, I shared, as always, an optional survey with 2 questions for those of you who want to do it. Okay, it's not required. If you feel like doing it, okay.
Sam, I hope you took a picture
Sure.
because we are still smiling here.
No, I've taken a picture. Thank you for those who turn on the cameras. It's okay. Thank you very
Thank you
much.
very much.
Thank
I just
you.
want to mention something since I see there's no questions. I just want to say next session is our last, and it's very, very important that you all join in if you want certificate because we're gonna share our post survey, and without that, if you don't fulfill it, we cannot give you a certificate. So it's very, very important that you all join in on our next session, which is our last.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Thanks,
Goodbye.
everyone.
Yeah, I think there's no questions, Anna. So yeah, we are free.
We're always free, but if someone still has questions, I'll stay here a couple of minutes. Some people prefer to do it in small group, so a couple of minutes.
True.
Thank you.